Hi, I'm Corey. Welcome to Creating with Scraps. This is a different kind of a video for me. It is a flip through of the absolutely incredibly gorgeous casebook that Tracie Fox from Love Junk Journals, Tracie Fox Creative, made for me. Now she has a series of videos that show how she made this casebook, but she didn't do a final flip through. So I told her if she didn't mind, I would do a final flip through for people who'd been following along. Now, when she was doing this series, I deliberately didn't watch the videos on how she made the pieces inside because I knew she was sending it to me and I wanted to be a little bit surprised. But I will link the videos where she shows how she made the pieces in the description box below. And for anybody who's new and hasn't used that before, when you look at the screen and it has the title of the video, off to the right there's a bit that says more, and you just click on that and it brings you to a description box and it'll give you the links to the kits that she used in case you're wanting to do something similar, as well as the videos that she used to make this. And this gorgeous bit of journal is what she calls the Case Crime Book. And it is just a little over 11.5 inches tall and about 4.5 inches wide. And I think I've got it in frame, I think. And then it's just sitting on a lace tablecloth that I picked up at an antique mall at a half off sale. So it was $5. It's gorgeous. And I'll use it someday because I don't believe there's any stains on this one. But there you go. It's just sitting on here. So that way there's no reflection or glare from my work surface beneath. All right, I will start. And I haven't watched any of the videos, so I am going through this not knowing the things that Tracie has shared with you in the other videos. A repurposed book cover that is absolutely stunning with the color and style. And then it looks like it's been lined with canvas for the insert and then covered with paper from the casebook kit, and it is absolutely lovely. She's used both black and off-white thread in here, and you'll see treasures as I see treasures. See, it's a casebook, so these are the people that they're looking for. And this one, oh, it's a windowed envelope. Oh, isn't that beautiful? It's a windowed envelope, and here you can see she's used black thread with a collage on this side and, oh, cool, a journaling card on the inside. What a cool journaling card. And she's layered a label on this journaling card and sewn around it. And there's the image I think you can see on the back. So gorgeous, gorgeous little envelope. And I'm guessing, because it's Tracie, that there is the pattern for this in one of the kits that she shared, either the Crime Casebook kit itself or the Crime Casebook add-on ephemera. And she's added ledger to it as well. It looks like vintage ledger and some lined paper. Just stunning. Great book. And these are the bits. So she's got a journaling pocket here with a tag that's movable and then a journaling tag using or showcasing what I would assume are Holmes and Watson, but that's not necessarily the case, though that's how I think of it. And and I know that she's got a video for these incredible tabs that she's done. Can you see that there? She shows a video on how she makes these page tabs. They're nice and thick and sturdy and just delicious. And I believe she uses labels and then stamps on them, but I won't swear to it. And then this is one of the paper clips that she created, which is just, again, brilliant. Super easy to use and completely covered so that it slides in and off easily. And then she sews around a lot and likes to leave the loose threads, which are beautiful. And then old lace trim at the edge of a page. Oh, very cool. And there's a London map. Now, I don't know if this is a digital, that I would guess that it is because it looks like it. And because it's, London and such, I'm going to assume that it's inside the kits. Whoops, let's see, what did I do here? Okay, so this, I've got it attached to, oh, that's cool. That's cool. All right, so some more ledger, and then she's used this little casebook. She printed this on card and then put a bit of acetate or transparency film over the top and sewed, oh, I guess she did, office of the coroner at the bottom with a little bit of a tag, and then it looks like she stamped inside here, and she labeled this sweet lady who fell afoul. And it's a file folder, which is really cool, and she put a suspect record condemned. Well, yeah, that happens on the back, and then attached it with a bulldog clip. So really, really a cool addition. I like that it's removable, so if you were filling it up with other things, you could take it out, but it's perfectly usable where it is. And more ledger, another of the side labels, and she used large jump rings and large eyelets on them. Oh, and here we go. There's the revolver. This must be like the evidence locker on the side here. All the bits and pieces used in the crimes. I'm going to go with that because that's really cool. Lots of ledger in here, which is perfect for writing, and it matches the theme. Oh, here we go. And here's some vintage ledger, and then another page from the casebook itself. Now, she has more than one casebook. She has an A4 casebook for the UK folks. She's got a US Journal casebook kit, and then she has a tall casebook kit, and this is the tall one. And you can see here the signatures, and she uses a 5-hole pamphlet stitch to sew it in place. And beautifully done. More pages from that. There you go. There's Holmes and Watson. I mean, of course it were Holmes and Watson. And so more of the digitals from it. And then again, combined with ledger, which is just super effective and stunning. And another of the tabs on the side. And another charm. And label. Oh, and this looks like a vintage receipt, an old one. I'll look on the other side. But it is an authentic vintage ephemera. So I like the fact that she's beautifully combined authentic vintage ephemera with the digitals. And here, this is again from the kit with some paint and ink on the back. Really cool. Like the hat and the pipe. And then describing the offender. See, so she's got listed up here, and then a description of the charming individual here. And more ledger, and again with the lace. It looks like each signature has a page with this beautiful old lace on it, and it's not feminine or anything, so it's really makes it, you know, more feminine friendly, I suppose, but it doesn't make the whole overall effect of the book super feminine. Oh, that's cool. I like the hint of pink in there. And then she's used a tab with some of the most wanted people. And I don't know if you can see here, but she's gone over the top and the frayed edges and such, and I absolutely love that look. If you prefer things neat and tidy, of course you could trim those, but really why? Because they're stunning the way they are. And this looks like newer ledger that she's just aged a bit, which is really cool. Oh, here's the other side of that ledger. And this is 1918. And again, I love the addition of authentic ephemera with the digital kit. It's a really great blend. She's used transparency film. Again, it looks like she printed this ad on the transparency, which is, oh, did I move up too much? There we go. Which is really neat. And then she's sewn it on top of the envelope. And my money would say that, oh, very cool. Very cool. Clue, I'm guessing this one was apparently committed with a sword. And an evidence tag inside. Okay, that is extra sweet. So an envelope that she just left part of it open with, I guess they caught this guy because he's busted. Really, really effective. Love this. I'm going to have to emulate this with something not case file related. I bought the kits, but I can't even imagine making anything as beautiful as what Tracie did. But I love that if I choose to down the road, I can. But really, really fabulous envelopes. So I'm guessing she has a video for that because it's extra cool. And more tabs. Oh, look, with a magnifying glass, so you can Holmes it all the way and see the details of the evidence. Lots of detail on the back too. Little itty bitty Tracie labels and some stamping, and more of this lovely, lovely vintage ledger and lined paper, combined with more from the kit. that's cool. This is the other side of that paper. And again, kit paper. All right, so here, this is just tucked loosely in. It looks like a little folio of sorts. So there's a tag, there's an evidence tag that she's put eyelets in and woven onto the top. And then take this off, and then there's, oh, very cool. She's got one of these awesome bags to store evidence in, clearly. It looks like it needs a weapon or a socker or something. But I'm guessing that she also did a video on how to make these, because this is extra cool. Love it. It's really fairly flat, but look at all the real estate you've got inside to store evidence. That's neat. Or if this weren't a casebook, you know, store whatever you want. And more from the digital kit. And it really beautifully blends with the vintage ledger that she's used, and even the newer ledger. Oh, and here's one of her corner pockets. And she shares how to make these. Oh, this one's really cool. You know, when you see it in person, it's just got a completely different effect. I know she has a video that shows you start with a, what are those things called, Corey? These are squares. You start with a square, and then you make a cut. No, this isn't a square. This is a rectangle, because look, that folds down this way. This folds down this way. So it's a rectangle folded in half, and then corner folded up, divot, and then it makes, oh, I'm going to make that. Okay. You know what? I might even make that sooner rather than later. And then here is, well, here, I'll use it from the next bit I'm showing. Here is a tuck pocket on the side. So you've got this little cool tuck pocket. And I know she has a video. Again, I didn't want to watch because I didn't want to have my surprise ruined, but that's extremely cool. Extremely cool. And then she's just held it on with a bulldog clip. And it's double-sided that way. So I'm going to have to come back and revisit that and make one of those too. The beauty of some of these pieces is obviously they work beautifully in the crime book, but they can work in other things as well. And then just some plain coffee dyed paper and more ledger. And another of these tabs. And this one, oh, it's got Holmes's pipe. Very awesome. And then these tabs, like it said, they're actual layered. There's texture with tickets on them, or Tracie labels. So that's kind of cool. And then this is it looks like a Carrie Fellows fussy cut butterfly. I love those things. Some grid paper and ledger together, which is, again, really effective coffee dyed. And digital. Digital's from her kit. Oh, there we go. She loved this page. I don't know what their misdeeds are, but clearly some of them are quite substantial. And that's kind of what she used on the first page, but she shrunk it down. Or maybe it's a different one. No, these are different offenders. These are a variety of different offenders. Seriously cool. And then more of that vintage lace and more offender tabs on ledger and coffee dyed grid paper. All right, here's another insert tuck treasure. This one looks like another pocket. Oh, but she's added a lot of things to this. So there's a little case file fingerprint card. Back when I did 911, when we first started, I worked inside of a police station, and we made these fingerprint cards the old-fashioned way, before scanners and such, with ink and rolling and such. So it was really kind of cool. And then this looks like a pocket from the kit and a card from the kit, and she's added just a tiny bit of dimension. So it's still really thin, but there's just enough dimension to add some interest. And then she's put these two bits on top, again from the kit, and super cool. And it's still really thin. I know I make things very thick, but this book is really reasonable with thickness, which is probably why she's able to get so many excellent pages in. And I didn't count the pages, sorry, because I don't know, I just don't care how many pages are in it, because it's perfect the way it is. Oh, and here is another one of those bits, but one-sided. She took the rectangle and folded it. Instead of folding the second side down and tucking it over the corner, she folded just the one side down. So rectangle piece, folded in half, folded one side down, and made this really cool corner tuck. I like it, and I love how she layered bits on and did a cluster. And then another tab, and this one with Ooh, I guess this guy was killed with a violin. I'm assuming that's a violin, or maybe it's a cello. I don't know. An musical instrument. And ledger and vintage ledger. That is so freaking cool. And then digital. Oh, yeah, here we go. Some more reward posters and some wanted scenes and such. I really like those. They're completely flat, but they just add a lot to them. And then ledger. Okay, here's another one of these. Oh, these things are so freaking cool, you guys. So she's got, I just love this effect. So she's just a transparency that she's sewn on. She hasn't printed anything on this transparency. Just a piece of window film transparency that she's sewn a label on. And you can lift it up and see the gentleman who's fallen awry. Stamped, labeled, ticketed. It's just really super, I don't know, effective. It's just super extra cool, especially on top of this ledger paper. Maybe he's a book cooker and he laundered money for the mob, and this is proof that he of what his misdeeds, I guess. This is proof of his misdeeds on here. Very cool. And then another one of the paper clips, with this time with a stopwatch. Awesome. It is time to go to prison. And ledger. And another miscreant. Oh, on a 1912 vintage ticket, ledger, or not ledger, invoice. And it's, you know, again, the effect of real ephemera with the modern stuff. Super duper duper cool. Oh, this one was solved, and more of that beautiful trim. And this one was done with rope. Apparently this crime was committed with rope. And she layered them nicely. I mean, they're not, you know, absolutely perfectly symmetrical, which really increases the overall effectiveness of it, I think. You can see there the chunk and the dimension off the side, which is stunning. Here's the other side of that old James H. Somebody dry goods store. Love that. I know some people only like to use digitals, but really it's super, super cool and effective when you add them to, you know, vintage ledger and then modern things. It's just lovely. And another pocket, an elementary pocket. Again, this must be evidence of his misdeeds. And just a flat tag. I mean, there's no extra dimension on this. I mean, a little bit here, but it's really cool with that ribbon. And I like all the strings hanging out. It just suits this book beautifully. And more lined paper and the last of the digitals. And then in the back pocket, she has, oh, I don't know if you can see that or not. And I know she's got a video on it because she was telling me about it. She used more of that transparency and probably some Stays-On ink, I'm guessing, or maybe 2 layers of transparency, and put a thumbprint. And it's really, really cool. And then this piece, I believe she's got a digital for, and that's in there. And she just looks like she printed it and then put it on top of, maybe cut it with her Cricut or scan and cut and put it on top of chipboard. So this one's really thick. And then she's got a mustache and glasses. That looks like a die cut. Excellent, excellent, seriously cool. And this looks like it's been Tim Holtz. You know, it looks like there's some oxide ink and spray and such on there. And oh, it does. There's a little pocket at the bottom. Love how that's a little offset. It's a Tim Holtz ticket is what it looks like. But she's folded it in half and made it into a tuck spot, and then made it into not a tuck spot, I lied. She's folded it in half, sewn it to the bottom of the tag, and made it into a mini pocket. And I like the effect a lot of it being offcut. It's not the exact same size as the tag. Really, really cool. And this looks like a Tim Holtz die cut is my guess. And I think this maybe is on that set. And then the same pocket in the back that she used in the front. And that is the Tracie Fox Creative casebook, tall casebook. And I will treasure this always. I know you're supposed to write in journals, but no way. This is going to be one of those shelf sitter, you know, the books, the vintage books that you absolutely love and just sit on your shelf because they make you happy just to see them. Well, that's what this is. And I might even store it this way because I can. All right, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Tracie. You will never know how much this means to me. Love everything about it. And again, in the description box below, I will have all the details as far as the videos that shows how she made these beautiful pieces, as well as, and the links to those, as well as the links to her Love Junk Journals shop, Etsy shop, where you can purchase these if you haven't already. All right, thank you. Next up, I am not going to do anything else today as far as creative bits, but I had mentioned that I'm going to share how I made these little mini books, and these are 3x4, I believe. I am going to alter it slightly, and I'm giving people a heads up in case they want to get something similar, though you don't have to. You can use any paper that you choose to. I am going to make this slightly taller and slightly wider, simply because of the kit I'm using. So it's going, instead of 3x4, it's going to be, I believe, 4x5. And I had a template somewhere, but I don't know where I put it. Same ideas, exact same concept. I'm just not going to use Tim Holtz paper this time because I used Tim Holtz paper last time. And I'm going to show you that you don't have to use the Tim Holtz paper to get the same or a similar effect. I am going to be using a series of digital kits because I know most people have or have access to it. Now, that's not to say that you couldn't use something else entirely. Like, a great example, I recently made a journal for Marlies, and I had changed my mind so many times about which direction I want to go, and I didn't want to use Tim Holtz for her because she designs for Tim Holtz, so she has all the Tim Holtz products. I wanted to go something different. So you can do what we're doing with using a paper kit. I mean, like, if you like beautiful, this one is absolutely stunning, Asuka Studios Dusty Blue Floral, which I've made a bunch of the pieces and such for, and I thought about going in that direction. So you can use a kit that you can get in a scrapbook store. You'll be able to do that for the project we're doing. You can use bits and pieces from various collections. It doesn't have to be a kit. But I'm going to use a digital kit for this project. And the digital kits, well, kits that I'm using are, I shrunk these down because of the size that I'm going to be working in. On my printer, I just printed it photo size 5x7, but here it is full size. So I'm going to be using Tracie's large fussy cut flowers. I'm going to be using her fussy cut shoes as accents, and these are really inexpensive kits. I am going to be using her new Compendium Ads kit. I love Compendium kits. Dark Compendium is still my favorite, but this one is seriously stellar in the colors. I love it. It's got yellows and reds and then like a teal green, and there's a bit of pink in here. It's just incredible. And then there's regular green too. Anyway, it is the Compendium Ads MK6. That is the primary focus of this journal. I also, because I had them printed and I really like them, I am using the, what am I using? Let's see. Oh, this is grungy wallpaper. So I've got a couple things backed with grungy wallpaper. You don't have to. You can use just the kit here. It's just I had these and I want to use them because I really like the way some of the grungy wallpaper works with the Ad Compendium. So if you just use the Compendium, any of her Compendium kits, you'll get a similar effect. This is just what I'm choosing. And any Tracie labels, any and all. I mean, I use those like they're M&Ms or candy or something because I just pop them on all the time. So that'll be coming up. I am going to complete the entire mini journal and film them in steps, but I'm going to release the videos all at once so that, because sometimes life gets in the way and I can't get to it quickly, and then people have to wait, and then they're not pleased, and I certainly don't blame them. So I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to finish it completely and then do like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, videos all at once and release them at once so that you can make it at leisure. The other thing I've got, I've had for a bit to share with you is I've got more of the random rectangles. There's all these, the next ones are really, really simple. There's a wraparound booklet, and then there's tag, and then there's a layered pocket, but they're all, and then fold over. There's a couple more bits, and they are all made with or by rectangles. So I've got that I need to to film too. So that's coming up. And this journal, I've had some people ask how I made it. So at the very end, probably after the mini journal, I'll show. My construction isn't mind altering or anything, but I'll show. But I'll show how I made this. I'll walk through my process. And I like raw edges and grunge, but you could always make this with clean edges if you chose. But it's just canvas with that fabric cover. And what I did here is I had a doily and I knew I wanted to use it on here. And I know it's not perfectly centered, but that was intentional. I wanted the back to be a little bit different, and I wanted this because I think what I'm going to do to finish this off is I'll use a large button simply because it matches, and then I'll use some sari silk to tie it closed. And then I thought what I might do is, because I don't have one like this, maybe layer some buttons, just sew some buttons on down the side, just not centered because I don't want it to be perfectly symmetrical. That was intentional. I mean, I don't know which ones I'll use, but I mean something like this where I'll take a bunch of buttons and then just sew them down the side here, something like that. I don't know, maybe I might use ribbon or lace or something else instead, but I think I might do that just because I really like the look, the effect that it gives. So it's still a work in progress, just like me. And so there you go. That video is coming up soon. Also, I've been asked before, and I may or may not do it. I promised myself before I did the next video bit that I store my scraps in the bins that you see me working on, in those enamelware trays all the time. But when I'm done with a specific project, sometimes if there's quite a few scraps left, I'll just tuck them in one of these pockets. And that's what I've done here. And then I've got so many of these pockets. I probably have maybe 10 of these things. And so before I do my next series, what I thought I would do, the videos on the mini journal, I thought I would do is clean these up. You know, use my scrap buster list and just make some things. Get these off my table. You know, if there's just a few bits left, I'll put them in the bins. But the bulk of it, I will make pieces for to throw into my completed projects bin or my completed pieces bin. And I may turn on the camera for that if anybody's interested in seeing just, random makes, just kind of a create with me type of a thing. So there's that. All right. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you, Tracie. I adore you. I love you. And I think you are just the most amazing person. I love this casebook. And I will, moving lights and things. I will treasure this forever. Take care, people. Happy creating.